Hello Taurus, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Taurus for the week of August 15th. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now the scammers are back, so just be careful, do not get scammed. I will not send you a message on any platform. I do not offer personal readings. I am using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, the Rider-Waite Tarot, as well as the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right, let's make sure we're all set up here and in view for you, Taurus, and then we'll get right into it. Hope things are going well for you. All right. I think that's looking just about good enough to me. We'll take 3 of these Keepers of the Light Oracle cards here. Them right there, and all right. Energy on the bottom, you have the 4 of Cups. So 4 of Cups represents potential boredom, apathy, situations like that. But you could also say in a much more positive way that this person is reflecting. And you could even say that maybe they're meditating. This represents, I think, reflection for you because we have the influence of the world here in the overall spot, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And I think self-reflection is probably the key here. You could even say that maybe, just maybe, this person's taking a look at their own reflection in the cup. You can't see it there, but it's just something that's coming to mind. And the other thing here with this 4 of Cups is, if you take a look here, there's this other cup in the upper left corner that represents an opportunity that this person could miss out on if they are indeed bored or apathetic. Also, some of you may be taking time to reflect on an opportunity that you've been given. Maybe this is an alternative opportunity or an alternative solution to a problem, and it's maybe just something that takes a moment. It may take you a moment to decide whether or not this is right for you. And it's because, like I said, it's maybe something that you're usually not used to doing, Taurus. So I definitely think that that is important for you in this week, something around self-reflection. And listen, self-reflection is a very powerful situation to engage yourself in. Self-reflection can really be powerful for you, an activity that's powerful for you. And yeah, that's just coming to mind. So in the overall situation, you do have this World card, and the World card represents the completion of a cycle, represents something closing out. It represents a chapter ending and a new chapter beginning. But this is a very positive card because it says that you've been successful in completing the task, the Fool's task, which the Fool is number 0. You've completed the Fool's task of going all the way through the major arcana, and you're now here landed at the World. So this is like being at the top of the world. This also asks you to sort of take a step back and self-reflect. 2 cards of potential reflection here. And in this case, it's like reflect on the journey that you've been on, reflect on where you want to be going, because there is a new cycle that begins right after the World card completes. And so that is just something to consider here as you take a look at the meaning of this card. And so what are we reflecting on, Taurus? Let's see what we might be reflecting on for you. In the past, you have the Lovers card, you have the Moon, and you have the 3 of Swords. So in terms of what are you reflecting on, this is probably a relationship or relationships in the past here, because you have this 3 of Swords and the Lovers card. Has a relationship come and gone in your life? I get the sense that it's probably already you've already left the relationship, or they've already left you, or something like that here, because the 3 of Swords can represent divorce, separation, breakup. It can also just represent heartbreak generally, maybe even an outpouring of emotion or emotional releasing. It's paired with the Lovers card, which can talk about relationships generally. It can talk about deep love, a deep connection between you and another person. Obviously, it can also talk about an important choice in your life. You can see the 2 people here on the card, but also Gemini is the sign of duality, and the Lovers card is the sign of Gemini. And so it can also talk about needing to choose between one thing or the other, you know, an important choice, right? It can also represent like juggling situations that kind of come in and come out. And so that could also be the case for some of you. And so I think that some of you here are reflecting on a relationship, or maybe even multiple relationships. Like maybe you've been in multiple relationships and you're reflecting on how they went, or you know, how they didn't go, or something like that. By the way, this could also be non-romantic relationships, like your connection to your family, your connection to friends, colleagues. Those are all also relationships. And maybe you're finding something out something important about yourself in moving into this place of reflection here. The moon card is also involved. The moon represents something that's maybe not as it appears, maybe something that's subtle. It can also represent emotionally charged situations, especially when combined with the Three of Swords. It can also represent something that kind of moves in and out, something that's temporary. So I think that for perhaps some of you are like, okay, maybe some of you may be trying to gather my words here. Some of you might be single right now, and some of you may be like, okay, why am I still single? Or you may have recently decided that it's time to get out of a relationship, and you may be like, okay, why am I once again getting out of another relationship? Like, why do I keep cycling through situations and people? And this could certainly be the case. I will try to bring in career and finance messages, but there are some here, but I do think that for the vast majority of you, this is something about relationships, whether romantic or non-romantic. In the current situation, you have the Seven of Swords, you have the World, and you have the Two of Pentacles here. So we've talked about the World already at length and how this is a cycle completing. It is a good card. It is Saturn energy. Saturn asks you to do the hard work. That's why everybody is, many people get concerned or afraid of their Saturn return. But really it's just a necessary kind of part of life. It's kind of moving out of one phase of life, and into another phase of life, kind of becoming an adult, right? Like moving into adulthood. You have potentially up to 3 Saturn returns. But one in your late 20s, early 30s, one in your late 50s, early 60s, and then potentially some people get to the one in the late 80s, early 90s. And so maybe there's just like a big shift right now that some of you are going through. Even if it's Saturn return or not Saturn return, you're just moving into a new kind of place in your life. The Two of Pentacles here, you can see that there's kind of like the rocky seas in the background. You can see the ships kind of hitting turbulence, or whatever that phrase is. And this represents things, again, coming in, coming out, right? Similar, the Lovers and the Two of Pentacles, believe it or not, have similar meanings in that they can be energies of sort of juggling, right? Juggling type of energy. Something moving in, something moving out, trying to keep all the plates in the air, trying to keep kind of everything sort of at bay, if you will. And, for some of you, I think that it can also just talk about change, right? And so I think the past year, there's been an important choice that has had to be made for some of you, that you've had to make, and you're now kind of you're kind of reflecting on the changes that come along with this important choice that you've made, whether it's in life, love, career, whatever it is. Many of you, it's probably love. I also think for some of you, there was something that was withheld from you. You have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords can represent backstabbing. I have to say, this card's been coming in for the collective this week. It can be something that is just not as it appears, especially when you have it with something like the Moon, and I'll talk about the High Priestess. Certainly something not completely clear. You may have a vibe about somebody, or somebody may even catch you off guard, or someone may have caught you off guard here in the way that they've behaved or acted. Certainly, I'm not somebody who says cheating in my readings, but what I do say, if I look for combinations, and you certainly have a combination of cheating or just some challenging energy here, because you have the Seven of Swords, Three of Swords, Moon, High Priestess, which is one of those classic combinations of maybe somebody just not being honest with you, backstabbing you, kind of, really hurting you emotionally. in some ways. So I do think that some of you are thinking about that. The Seven of Swords in a much, much more positive way says like, hey, it's maybe time for you to build a strategy or a game plan to get yourself out of a situation. So yeah, if you have Virgo in your chart, by the way, I would take a look at Virgo, at the Virgo reading, definitely. In the future, you have the High Priestess, you have the Page of Wands, and you also have the Tower. So I'll just close out my thought here on the upper row. So the High Priestess is very interesting that you got it here, or maybe not, maybe it just makes sense. The High Priestess can talk about secrets being withheld from you, or knowledge or information being withheld from you. In a more negative way. In a more positive way, it's the biggest card of intuition in the tarot. It says trust your gut, because your gut is going to be the right way forward. It's going to be the right path forward. It's also about anything that's esoteric, any sort of like spiritual wisdom, or just knowledge generally, learning, situations like that. Somebody who's a way shower is the High Priestess, but in this case, there was something that was withheld from you because of the influence of the Seven of Swords and the Moon, meaning something that's not as it appears, as well as this Three of Swords, something that breaks your heart here. Some of you are, again, going into this reflective period in your life. Okay, like, why does this keep happening? Why did this person do that? What do I need to do to help myself out? I think some of you are also thinking about that. Like, what, okay, this situation happened. It happened. I can't change what happened. So what do I do now? Like, and I think that some of you are maybe in that kind of reflective stage right now. The Tower represents something kind of collapsing that really, to be honest, the Tower represents something that needs to collapse. And so you can actually view the Tower as a blessing in disguise, because you were living in a house of cards anyway. At least that's the definition of the Tower. And so it is the house of cards collapsing, but nobody wants to live in a house of cards, right? And so it's actually a blessing in disguise. You then have this Page of Wands. It can also, just in a much more positive way, the Tower can represent a surprise happening in your life, or like a shock or a revelation. And you have it here with the Page of Wands, which the Page of Wands represents a job offer or an opportunity or good news coming into your life. So, you know, you could be surprised by good news as well. That's certainly possible here, you know, if we're just looking at this reading. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 Oracle cards to clarify. But if you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. All right, so you have Katumi, Cloak of Wisdom. You already know the answer you seek, trust what you know. You have Master Buddha, Increased Awareness, Deep Connection, Trust your inner voice. And then you have Lady Nada, Heart Awakening, Awaken to acceptance and divine love, give and receive in balance. There's something about balance here that's super important. This idea of giving and taking, or giving and receiving in balance, I think is very, very important here, because this person's doing, on the Two of Pentacles card here, they're doing a balancing act. And then the Lovers card, choice between two people, or kind of juggling energy. And so there's something about balance as it relates to your emotional life or situation, as you have this Heart Awakening card. Yeah, and also just trust this awareness energy. And maybe it's acceptance and awareness is acceptance, awareness, and reflection are kind of the 3 key words for you right now, Taurus. And that really kind of guiding you forward, being the guidepost forward for you. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the rest of these tarot cards. So you have the 8 of Pentacles, you have the 8 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles again, you have the Ace of Swords, you have the 9 of Swords, and you also have the High Priestess. Okay, so there's this term that just I always, for whatever reason, in my mind, is just, it never connects with me. But it's like the rocky seas, or the unstable, the rocky waters, turbulence type of energy here, as you can see with the boat in the background. Some of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Other people have commented on on my videos in the past. I just can't connect with the phrase right now for whatever reason. But this is something kind of being unstable, or a little bit just, I think flexibility is going to be extremely important for you right now, Taurus, because there could just be changes that come in. The thing that I really want to impart here on you is that you have this High Priestess twice with the Two of Pentacles and all of this other energy, where it's like whatever change is happening, it's easier said than done, but whatever change is happening for a reason. And the other thing I want to impart on you is that you're strong enough to deal with the changes. And so I think flexibility at this time, especially as you go into a state of reflection, is going to be extremely important for you. I see some of you walking away, or somebody walking away from you with the Eight of Cups and the Nine of Swords, whatever case that may be. Again, this is happening for a reason. There's a higher divine purpose for whatever's going on here. And then the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles, some of you are going to throw yourself into work as a way to deal with this situation. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I am saying that some of you need something to sort of, you need a healthy distraction. You need to, some of you, I can't tell you what you need, but the cards are saying is some of you need like a hobby or a work situation or like a side hustle or something that gives you purpose at this time. So that's what's coming in. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.